I gambled my 401k retirement plan.
Everybody's reaction to that guy who put down $33,000 in the Seahawks winning proves to me that the gambling companies already won because everybody doesn't understand what the stakes of gambling are in the United States right now.
Bro, yo, no, dude. Oh my, bro, I'm about to freak the out, dude.
Okay, so today is the day. I talk about it all the time throughout the videos on my channel, but today we're only talking about the gambling problem that has taken over the world. I made a few videos very early into this channel's life about this topic, but they really didn't get too much traction, at least in comparison to what we normally talk about on this channel. But since then, I've seen much bigger channels push these issues into the limelight, so people know how bad this has really become. We have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos, so if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's jump right into a clip that you probably saw talking about the Super Bowl recently.
Everybody's reaction to that guy who put down $33,000 in the Seahawks winning proves to me that the gambling companies already won because everybody doesn't understand what the stakes of gambling are in the United States right now. The average person who sports bets loses something like $3,000 to $5,000 a year on sports betting. The average with a median wage in the United States is like $60,000 before taxes. In low tax states, I guess that means that you come out every year probably with like $48,000 after taxes. So people who are sports betting on average are themselves taking like 10% of their income and just lighting it on fire. And that sounds like annoying and just an inconvenience until you remember most Americans do live very cash strapped. They live very, very close to the edge of their means. And it only takes one financial disaster to put people off track in just staying afloat for years. And some people cannot cope with that. And so what they do is they kill themselves. They get rid of their whole families. And the gambling companies and the sports leagues and the media ecosystems that enable them to promote them with each other have all gotten together and said that's an acceptable externality on society.
And if you don't believe what he's saying, you could take a look at a couple articles. Massacre of Family Linked to Gambling, which basically talks about this high roller in Las Vegas unaliving himself and his family while leaving a note blaming gambling addiction, and $225,000 in shredded casino markers. Gambler who took his own life made up to 100 bets per day and accumulated around 18,000 pounds worth of debt before he took his own life. I try not to talk about this kind of stuff too much on the channel because it's a really easy way to get age restricted, but this is how serious this issue is. We could go over to some of the comments. Also, with the money that he won during the bet turning $33,000 into $49,000, and he could basically use the winnings to pay the taxes he owns on the winnings, and it's a total wash. Kind of insane from a taxation standpoint. Putting down $33,000 for $16,000 profit is insane, and there's a good amount of examples of people who did this crazy stuff, but on the losing team, the Patriots. How do I tell my family I lost $40,000 on the coin toss? If the Gatorade dump is orange, I'll break even. And we go right over to the comments. It was yellow, minus $80,000. Make sports betting a shameful act again. I voted no on making sports betting legal. I tried to help you. It was in fact not orange. Let it come out in the divorce naturally. Even though this comment's making a joke, this happens pretty often. We got a comment from you guys right here. My stepbrother's a gambler and destroyed the family. Stole, begged, and lied and everything else. But yet the family treats him like he's a victim. Give him money, feed him, and make excuses for him. It's sad. Because if you start turning to social media online, nobody takes this seriously.
Last night I was gambling, I lost all my money, and I was like, what's $20 more? You know, I just felt like really leaning into being a degenerate. I put $20 in a slot machine, I hit 1,000 on one spin. So if you need to decide to make bad decisions today, this is it, bestie. Go for it. It's going to pay off.
I won $10,000 the other night, and then I put it right back in. Then it's a whole bunch of comments like this. The biggest problem with gambling is everyone quits right before they win. 99% of gamblers quit before the big jackpot. I had zero intentions of gambling today, but the chances just went up by 85%. I'm a casino employee, and when I see people win, I have to resist the urge to go to the nearest casino after work. That is exactly what all of this is designed for. They'll make you think that you could win even though the odds aren't in your favor. Why do you think all these casinos and sports books just keep expanding? They're clearly not losing money, they're just taking it from you.
I want to talk real quick about how absolutely warped ESPN has become in regards to making money off of gambling. So I wake up this morning, there's a story on ESPN.com, Headline, Indiana quarterback Mendoza, sorry for cooked spreads after late safety. And it's a story about Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza quipped about messing up betting lines with his wild clock-killing scramble to end the Hoosiers' 2015 win over Iowa on Saturday. With Indiana up 20-13 after stopping Iowa on its final possession, Mendoza ran off the last 3 seconds of the game by racing 40 yards backwards on 4th and 19 into his own end zone. He said he was following orders from his coach. Mendoza explained, and they said, I know I really cooked people's spreads. My apologies out to them. And it's a story about this kid who said something about gambling, and it's almost like the story is about how kind of weird and crazy it is that he was kind of joking and even thinking about it. The next paragraph of the story, ESPN.com story, Indiana closed at an 8.5 point favorite at ESPN Bet, but those final 2 points could have affected wagers on alternate spreads.
Basically, the entire point of the article for ESPN was to advertise their betting site, along with the culture now being so ingrained into sports in general that an active player in the game is now thinking about spreads on the field. Are you kidding me? My dad is a felon, went to federal prison for a year, and hasn't been able to vote since 1992 because he was a sports bookie in the 80s. Federal prison, he's a felon. And now they promote it everywhere. But has his felony been reversed? Nope. As long as all of these companies can make an absolute ton off of you, now it's legal. Why are LeBron and KD doing ads for DraftKings too? How much money do they really need? We'll be talking about that a little bit later. It's disgusting. The impact of young people is especially tragic. We got another comment from you guys right here. Being addicted to gambling is like having a strong drug addiction. You'll lie and steal and put yourself in a massive debt just to gamble. And we got a story of somebody going through that right here.
I gambled my 401k retirement plan. My name is Kyle. I'm a compulsive gambler, and this is day 5 without touching it. Quick little story time. So this was maybe 2022, a couple years ago. I was like 23, 24 years old, and I had a 401k from one of my old jobs. I had no idea what it really was. All I know is my parents always told me, Kyle, don't touch that shit unless you're 65 plus, right? But with this addiction, that just goes through one ear and out the other, okay? I really needed money. I needed money bad, and that was the only thing to resort to. So I ended up pulling out the whole $7,000. It got penalized like crazy, and once I received the money, I was like, okay, this is awesome. Not going to touch it. I needed it. I needed to live off of it because I was going through transitions between 2 different jobs, so I definitely needed the income. And I just took one trip to the casino, man. That's all it took. And I won about like $3,000. It's like, dude, this is fucking awesome. You know, I got 5 figures now in my account, over 10K.
And that's legitimately all the casino needed to have happen. Somebody down on their luck basically going all in and winning will virtually guarantee you a gambler for life. We could take a look at the second half of this clip, even though you probably know where this is going.
So the next day, I go back. I lose a little. I lost what I won originally. It's like, well, I got to get back to that 10K so I can, stop. It doesn't work like that. The 7 went down to 5. The 5 went down to 4. The 4 went down to 2. And at that point, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got to get $8,000 back now. I mean, I got enough ammo to do it. I just got to I got to lock in, Didn't happen, obviously. Lost the whole thing. So the next couple months, man, was rough. I literally had to borrow money and self-ban from every casino in the United States.
And even if this story went the other way and he kept doubling it and got $50,000 or even $100,000 from the original $7,000, he would just keep putting it in until he eventually lost it all. Going back to that comment earlier about LeBron and KD advertising FanDuel, saying how much money do you really need? And I think this next clip is a perfect example. I love wheeling this out. Michael Jordan, one of the best athletes to ever live, making almost 9 figures throughout his NBA career, let alone the Jordan brand. You could add on the Charlotte Hornets and other investments, still had a heavy gambling problem.
Do you have a gambling problem?
No, I enjoy it. It's a hobby. If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. My championship rings, I would sell my house. I would do this. My wife had left me, or she'd be starving, or my kids would be starving. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling.
We'll go right over to the comments. Bro had the addict shades on. People freaked out about him gambling $50,000 when he was worth $50 million at the time. But my thought process is, why are you gambling in the first place? Isn't the whole point to make more money? How much more do you need if you were currently worth $50 million and it going up and up basically by the month? And if you search this up, some of the numbers are crazy. Now, the total gambling losses are unknown, but reported high stakes incidents include a $1.25 million golf debt, a rumored $5 million single night casino loss, which would have been 10% of what he was worth in that comment there, and a 36-hour $900,000 card game. And we got another comment from you guys right here. Getting a gambling ad while watching this video summarizes the problem nicely. I know that these advertising companies are just searching for keywords to run their ads. They don't actually watch the videos of people condemning what they do. So even though I'm showing you all the horror stories in this video, you're probably still going to see gambling ads. I mean, we could even take a look at one of them right here.
$10 turned into over $27,000 because of fair play. This 6-leg parlay rested on an Emeka Egbuka anytime touchdown, but he got hurt in the first half of today's game. So fair play activated this bet, graded as a win, and $10 turns into 27,800 and change.
But it's very interesting here that the creator turned off comments, because I've seen this type of advertising all over social media, all over TV. I put in $100 and this insane parlay got me hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And no matter how ridiculous it sounds, it still entices some people to place bets. But now it's been taken to the next level. It's not just sports betting or going over to the casinos. You could bet on everything now.
So my current event is going to be Kalshi. Do you guys know what predictive markets are? So for the listeners out there who don't know what predictive markets are,
Also poly market.
just like think of Kalshi as like the Wall Street meets DraftKings and democracy as a sport.
You can take bets on like what will Donald Trump say in the Rose Garden speech today at 2 p.m. and
I have seen those.
Russia, China, news scum.
But the problem with this is CNN's partnering with Kalshi. So you can imagine you already have insider trading. You basically incentivizing reporters to like produce a biased report to make these predictions come true. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because money is involved now.
Gotcha.
Like CNN.
So we're betting on propaganda now.
Yeah.
Not only is it bad enough that this is happening, you could bet on anything, the sports betting, but it's being integrated with the players, teams, news outlets now too. You think the insider trading problem is bad with Congress and the stock market? Now basically anybody could do it. And because they call it a predictive market, it's technically not gambling in the eyes of the law.
If every other ad you're seeing is about gambling online, whether it's betting on the Super Bowl or something like Kalshi or Polymarket or some other platform, and you're thinking to yourself, wait, I thought online gambling was illegal in my state, you're probably right. Much like here in California, the state where the Super Bowl is being hosted, online sports betting is illegal. It is not legal. It was put on the ballot in 2022 and it did not pass. However, what these companies are doing, the Kalshis, the Polymarkets, all these other platforms, they're saying we're not gambling. What we're doing is called prediction markets. So you're not gambling, you're investing in a predicted outcome, which in so many words just means you're gambling. But that's how these companies skirt around the law. Because if they said that they were an online sports book, they would not be able to operate in California. But since they're an online prediction market where you're investing in a predicted outcome, technically it's legal. Even though it's online sports gambling, which is technically illegal, but it's just a giant technicality that they're getting away on, and I think it's predatory, and I hate it. I hate that everything is gambling.
Gambling's ruined sports, ruined lives, and will ruin our economy. I blocked Kalshi, but I'm still getting the ads. It's become so bad that I assumed this was an ad for one of them. That also brings in another issue on social media recently. The guerrilla ads now undisclosed. People just make it seem like they're telling a story, the job market's so bad. I'm having a real tough time landing positions, so I'm using this app to help me fill out applications. And at the end of the day, it was an ad the whole time. Same thing with the gambling. And you don't think these companies like Kalshi or Polymarket are just as shady as all of the other sports books? We could take a look at an example right here.
Do you find it weird that Polymarket paid out on whether Cardi B performed during the Super Bowl halftime show and Kalshi did not pay out? How can that be? The reason why is that Cardi B was on stage during Bad Bunny's halftime, but didn't actually sing. She was a background dancer, if you will. Does that not end any possibility that you would put your hard-earned money into one of these prediction markets? Are you not in any way alarmed that there are prediction markets out there on things that are guaranteed to be known by someone and it's not you?
This is the same as one of those examples of people hitting the jackpot in the casinos, and then they get told the machine just glitched out. You actually didn't get the jackpot. See ya. Why would you ever trust any of this? I just don't get it. Have you ever bet on FanDuel and they changed the wording on you? It's rare, but has happened. I'll put my money on both. Guaranteed winner, baby. Really? Two companies destroying the country. They're more powerful than state governments. Massachusetts tried to regulate them because they're shady and got sued because they're trading and not gambling. Like we heard with the clip before, it's a predictive market. We got another comment from you guys right here. The worst story I read was about a serious gambling addict who had himself legally trespassed from local casinos with the idea that it'd stop him gambling. His gambling addiction subsided for a few years, but eventually he relapsed and returned to one of the casinos. They didn't stop him at the door. They let him gamble thousands of dollars. Eventually, he did win a jackpot. And when it came time to collect, the casino discovered that he trespassed himself years earlier, refused to pay the jackpot, and had him arrested for trespassing. There you go, just another terrible example. But let's transition over to the gambling gurus. All of these random guys trying to get you to pay for their sports picks so you could win just like them.
We lost over $2,000 tracking a sports betting influencer. I'm Nick, and welcome back to Sharp or Not, the series where we bring transparency to the sports betting industry for the first time. This is day 7 of tracking Daily Wager, who has 15,000 followers on TikTok and charges $79 a week. Yesterday, June 30th, Daily Wager goes 2 for 4, losing us $431. The biggest loss comes from the Yankees moneyline, which is a 6-unit play, and they barely lose to the Blue Jays 5-4. This marks the end of the week, and we are down more than $2,100. Not the best week ever.
Now, I think that this is a great idea to put up on social media just to try to warn people of what could happen to them as well.
We tracked 30 sports betting influencers over the past 30 days, and these are the top things we learned. 1. A lot of sports betting influencers will exaggerate what they got the line at, making it impossible for you to actually tail them 100%. 2. It's really just a toss-up. Half of the influencers we subscribed to ended up losing, and exactly half ended up winning, bringing us around net even in the past month. And 3. Top sportsbooks often partner with losing influencers to create a cycle of profit where you, the subscriber, then copies those losing bets, making the big sportsbooks even more money.
So not surprising, all of these gambling gurus and sportsbooks don't like this type of content too much. So unfortunately, these types of pages are getting silenced.
We got reported by a sports betting influencer. So as you guys may have seen, we stopped tracking one of the bettors that we were tailing this week. Our video tracking them and their huge loss on night 1 got reported multiple times and taken down. On top of that, we got kicked out of their premium group and can't see any of their plays. Our entire account also got reported, and we are told if we had one more strike, then our whole account will be banned. It's an unfortunate reality that we can't compete with these larger accounts bullying around the small guys, but we'll continue to track who we can and give you guys the best analytics possible. Thanks again, and sorry for the situation.
We could go over to the comments. Getting reported means you're doing something right. Clearly, whoever tried to get you banned isn't very good or transparent. There was a lot of comments saying it was this person dorm room. I don't know who that is, but just another example of why you shouldn't trust anything that has to do with gambling. Another comment here, as someone who lives in Las Vegas where gambling is around every corner, grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, etc. It's insane how few people understand the math and statistics behind casino games. And if they did, they wouldn't be gambling for any other reason than paid entertainment. The house always wins. Like I said earlier, you only see these casinos and sports books expanding. That clearly means they're making money. And when it comes to social media influencers and how much control they have over young kids, it's not surprising that this problem has only gotten worse.
But do you think that, like, even when you're off stream, you're firing? Do you ever get worried, like I might be addicted to this?
So it's not like we're addicted to gambling. When you really look at it, you're either on a heater and you can't stop and you're winning, or you're losing and you're due, so you have to gamble more. So like, you kind of have to be gambling. It's not like you're addicted to it.
And this specific guy's entire audience is basically a bunch of kids. Nice. Here we got another one, a comment from you guys. Boss Man Jack went to jail, then rehab, just got out, and is already back to gambling.
God. Bro! Yo! No, dude! Oh my. Bro, I'm about to fucking freak the out, dude! I'm never doing this again, dude! I'm never doing this again, dude! The fucking break my computer, bro. This is some bullshit, bro. I'm about to freak the out, bro! Nah, dude, these little tips, bro. Yourself, dude. You! I'm done! I'm done, dude! You give me those little $15, $20 tips. The y'all doing, dude? There, you're lost, dude. You're lost.
If I wanted to, we could sit here and watch Bossman Jack Crashouts for hours on end. And we got another comment from you guys. I called out a streamer for promoting gambling to his audience and got instant banned. The small-time guy was totally willing to sell his soul. Creepy thing is that in his chat there was a promoter acting like he was winning money from it when it was clearly the people sponsoring him to draw in suckers. That kind of stuff happens all the time. But it's okay because the streamer or content creator is getting paid so much. Just completely ignore the fact that most of the audience are children.
If they're paying you $1 million a month and you're losing on stream and you're saying, why would people want to gamble if they see me losing? Why would they pay you $1 million a month if they're not making at least $1 million? They have to be making the money or the whole company would just collapse.
Yeah, but they're going to make money off other people. My people don't gamble.
So then why would they pay you?
Like if you ask, I don't know.
Just for fun? They like you?
They like my content.
No, they don't. Because your fans are losing loads and loads of money.
But it's okay in the eyes of these types of streamers because they're making a ton. I'm just gonna act dumb, ignorant, my fans aren't losing money. I'm just getting paid for no reason. Sure, man, but I think I got my point across in this video, so we'll finish off with this clip.
If I see a celebrity in a gambling ad, it's over. If I liked you, you just lost me. You've lost any sort of respect or enjoyment I would have ever had from any of the things that you've made. Like Kevin Hart. There was a time in my life where I actually thought, oh man, Kevin Hart, he was kind of a funny guy, I like him. Nowadays, get the f out of my face. I don't want to do a parlay. I don't want to play roulette on my phone. Leave me alone. Blake Griffin. There was a point where I was a Clippers fan. I thought the whole saga of him and Donald Sterling, that period of the Clippers was pretty cool. Nowadays, hop the f off. And it extends to internet celebrities too, dude. When I see a content creator I like and they start promoting some weird, I gotta be like, it's over. Unsubscribed, bro. Get out of my face with that.
Why is LeBron an active athlete doing DraftKings ads and having his own parlays you could tail? Kevin Hart, LeBron James, Jamie Foxx, Charles Barkley, JB Smoove, Drewski, Gronk, Peyton Manning, Vince Vaughn. I mean, there's way more than just that. Can I just not see gambling? Every site, every media, every space we exist in is now full of gambling, and it's disgusting and weird. Make gambling a fringe thing again. I'm just as tired seeing it everywhere as well. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.